look at this.
Greg,
Yes.
Costa is cleared to play. Can you tell us what your plans are for this weekend with him?
He'll play. Start or come in, he'll play. I mean, he's ready. He's fit. He's been training before he came, he was training with Gremio. Obviously, there was a little window of time in his transition to get here where he wasn't, but he was still working out, and he's trained since he arrived. So his fitness is there. In terms of how many match minutes he's fit, we'll kind of be able to tell once he gets out there and starts playing. But his fitness is and all those things, he's ready to be a part of it.
How about in terms of the chemistry?
Sorry.
How about in terms of chemistry?
Great. I think he's starting to and in communication with his guys, and we've been trying to do a lot of work over the last couple of weeks, even though he hasn't been able to play, integrating him into the role that we see him, working with the players that are around him. He's obviously a very, very smart player. I think it's more the guys getting used to him. As I was just talking to Jules is like, he never looks at me when he passes me the ball, right? He's always looking off, and then he's like, so I just got to keep running because the ball's going to come. So it's just guys, I think, as much getting used to him as he is getting used to other players. So, but it's been nice to have him. His quality is for all to see every single day. It's fun to watch. And again, he's just integrating into the group, and the process on the defensive side as well is something we're just connecting as well. So.
Greg, we didn't see Sega out there today. What's his condition? Is he going to be available for Sunday? And also, we noticed that Derek was out here training full capacity. What is his availability for Sunday?
Sega should be available. He's actually, the shoulder elbow issue, whichever it was when he landed, is actually okay. We're dealing with something a little bit else, but he should be fine. Everything should be cleared, and he should be back into training on tomorrow, actually.
Greg, you've had success a lot of different levels in this league and a lot of different lenses. How does this group feel different maybe than others in the past, or teams that you've taken to ultimately win that trophy?
Yeah, it's a talented group, especially on the attacking side. We have a lot of different weapons, guys who do things a little bit different than the next guy. So it's just, again, about those relationships on the field continuing to grow and to blossom. And then it just becomes about our group's ability to defend, to keep things out of our goal. Even today, as I said to the guys, there's times when the level is off the charts, and then there's a few moments, it's early in the year, where we are chaos out there a little bit, where we just need to settle the game down and keep our level high all the time. And so once I think we start to establish that, it's going to be a really good group. And the collective defending side, I'm just going to keep saying it because I hope they keep listening to me say it, is the important side. If we can bring down or split in half even our goals against last year, then we're going to be in the mix to win a lot of things.
Hey Greg, I know you talked about Douglas Costa. You've only had a couple of days with him. Yeah. Previously, you talked about playing him at the 10 or the wing. What do you envision for Sunday for Costa in the position?
Yeah, I mean, he could play either role, to be honest. I like to set him up with opportunities to be on his left foot as much as possible. That's where his magic really, really happens. So, he can play in both roles, and we might vary him throughout the course of the game just to give different looks to New York City, because he's a little bit different in each of those roles. But his ability to, again, find the pass, to eliminate the first defender, to open up new scenarios is special. And wherever that is, it will be beneficial for us.
Eric Zabaleta is in your plans, Coach?
Eric is in process of being finalized, so I don't know if he'll be available for this week, but hopefully we can get something done and he'll be into the group here in the next couple of weeks.
Greg, as you were incorporating so many new personalities last season, I know you were looking for on-field leadership, especially in the midfield. Is that something you're kind of approaching differently now as you start and kind of go into this and knowing how to set the tone and look for that early on?
Yeah, I think it's a great thing. Great question, because this team, a little bit, it was about leadership and about presence. Adding some of the veteran players that we have into the mix. Douglas is still a little quiet, but you can see him talking and having conversations with guys. But guys who we've added, Markey, not a super vocal guy, but his presence and his knowledge of the league has really helped. But even Kelvin Leerdam is a guy who really has a voice. He's communicating. It's challenging some of our other players to continue to step up and take that role. But I feel like this, as a whole, the group is a lot more mature this year than it even was last year. The players who came mid-season or came at some point during the season had the season to learn, to grow, to understand what MLS is about, to get more confident with each other, to develop relationships. And everybody's come in, I think, more mature a year later for the experience, and also the heartache of the last game and being in the playoffs for 85 minutes or 33 games and 85 minutes and not being at the end has put a chip on the shoulder for some guys. So I think the leadership is there. It's something we keep challenging the group with. I think these days with everybody and their phones, I think finding guys and people who are out there is not as easy as it once was. And so we keep challenging this group to be more vocal with each other.
Greg, speaking of leadership, when we talk about Javier going into his
Yep.
third season with LA Galaxy, second under you, have you seen his role change at all, or what are your expectations?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of leadership and communication, Javi's at the top of the group. He's always coaching on the field. He's giving feedback to guys. He's, again, more comfortable in the group. I think he's more comfortable and confident with the pieces that are around on the team, having a better sense of how to work with each guy and what each guy, how they take information when he's providing information. So his role from that perspective continues to grow in that leadership role, both in the locker room and on the field. Sometimes it's not the easiest to lead from the front. It's a little bit easier sometimes to lead from a deeper position on the field, but he certainly is doing it and plays a great role in sort of setting the tone for our group and the intensity of our group. So he'll continue to do that this year. I think that's just who he is, and I think he's really confident and comfortable in our group to be that guy.
Two more questions for Greg.
Greg, you seem to have a lot more options on the back line this year compared to last year. How do you go about getting that group a consistent forward that you can sit out there game in, game out?
Yeah, I think it's repetition. First and foremost, we've got to keep guys healthy and available. Unfortunately, Derek obviously missed a good chunk of preseason, so Sega had a couple issues last year where he was in and then he was out, and it's in. And I think as much as anything, it's repetition, it's relationships on there, it's being able to do that. Obviously, Jules coming into another year, Kelvin is there to give us support and experience in those moments where we need him. Raheem is a player who obviously has experience in the league, but he's growing into the position a little bit and learning the nuances of some of the position, and Jorge's experience goes. So we have options, but I do think it's a lot about repetition and relationships and just working together on the field. It's getting to know each other's strengths and weaknesses and going through a lot of different repetitions and different scenarios in the game and understanding collectively how you're going to solve those problems. So we have a year of experience from last year, which will help us. We continue to throw new scenarios and new situations at these guys and repetition. The way this year plays out in terms of the schedule, where we don't have a ton of games on top of each other, we have a lot of training weeks, really I think helps us because we can provide those repetitions during the week as we prepare for matches and what we think oppositions are going to bring against us.
Last question. And Leardom, how do you determine who's at right back?
Yeah, I think we have two good options. I think, for me, Jules is usually going to be our primary guy. We want his legs to get up and down the sideline to provide us some attack. But Kelvin gives us a calm method, a real methodical look on the outside. He will stay home. He provides just a lot of calm and he provides some communication, where Jules it gives you the up and down and a lot of that dynamic work. And so I think there's two good options. Again, Jules is a player we believe in his future, and we believe in his continued development. So as long as he's staying on top of his game, he's the guy that will probably get the majority of the minutes. But it's open. It's a competition, which I think Jules needs to learn about a little bit too.
Do you switch in terms of right back, left back? In that left back, you got the same thing with Villafana and Edwards, up and down or methodical. Do you look to have one methodical and one up and down?
Not necessarily, but it's an option. I mean, we'll see depending on how guys are playing, their form, and also maybe sometimes occasionally what the opposition may bring. If we want to keep a third guy kind of at home, we may keep one of the guys that maybe plays the role a little more methodical. But those are decisions that we've made kind of as we go. Want to keep everybody healthy, then we keep all of our options on board. But if anybody unfortunately gets into that situation, we still have options to be able to cover ourselves. I think also when we get into the training days like today, it's a very competitive group of 20 to 22 players who get after it, which is important in keeping everybody at their sharpest.
So
Okay.
which game would Jalen Neal make his debut?
I'm not sure. Maybe this weekend. You never know.
All right. Thanks,
Thanks for your time, Greg.